by these actions. Okay, like that is the, you know, keep your eyes on the prize, I guess, and be a little bit more understanding.
He was laughing at me and continued to try to kiss me and was like, "Are you serious? Come on, come on." Yeah, it was not fun. So I told him to get out of my car again. He wouldn't get out, and he said, "You could at least take me home." So I realized at this point I would not be.
I think a lot of people like this usually speak up because they fear that when someone comes out, they usually fear that like this is repeat behavior, and that's the reason why they come out and speak out on things like this. Okay, so they want to prevent this from happening again. It's not like, I know that the immediate alternative is like, oh, this is a person who was scorned, and that's why they're fucking coming out. And even if like one person, even if the original accusation is like that, the other people that are coming out in that situation are offering repeat, offering repetitive patterns, like pestering, legitimately, like regularly pestering, and in some instances that could lead to a coerced consent, like coerced instance of consent. And even if I were to put myself, I mean, this is a weird thing to say, but even if you were to put yourself in the shoes of the perpetrator, okay, and a lot of people are gonna say, oh, what the fuck, like, don't do that. He himself, after a sequence of repetitive actions, and this goes for a lot of people, okay, this goes for a lot of dudes, when you engage in this action and it is otherwise rewarded or there's no sort of pushback, you assume that this is the norm, okay? This isn't to take away the responsibility from Andrew in this circumstance. It's not. It certainly isn't. But it is for a lot of people to hopefully understand why these things keep happening all the time, especially because I think that like the systemic aspect of this conversation always gets lost in the sauce in the way that we look at everything. That's why people say like men are trash, okay? That's where this comes from. Because a lot of guys, oftentimes, in this circumstance, don't understand what they're doing is like completely inappropriate. Or there might be a point where they understood that what they were doing was completely inappropriate and have lost touch with that side because this is so heavily normalized and reinforced in society. That is also part of the reason why I always talk about, whenever I cover these sorts of things, whether it be someone I know or someone I don't know, when people go, oh, it seems like there's a lot of people who are doing this sort of thing in this avenue, in Twitch, or whatever, right? What you also always need to take into consideration is that this is not just happening on Twitch, or this is not just happening in this circle, it's happening it's happening in every circle, in every facet of existence. And I think that the way to solve it is by, again, having empathy across the board, and of course having an honest conversation about these sorts of things, which unfortunately rarely ever happens, because ultimately the people that speak out against these sorts of instances are traumatized individuals who, of course, are going to be on the edge, be defensive. It's understandable. It's a survival mechanism. It's the same as like when I talk about transphobia. Yes, I completely understand why trans people would be more defensive when having a conversation like this. That would otherwise even come across as like to the untrained person who's just like hearing from the outside, like, oh, why are you being so hysterical? Well, yeah, it's because they feel as though their lives are on the line. In many instances, that's a legitimate reason. Same with this as well. Okay. Same with the circumstance as well.